Hey everyone, welcome to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And today I'm going to be giving you a review of Dark Days The Forge #1. I gotta tell you, with so many events in comics going on right now these days, I just don't know how I can keep up with this. I mean, you have the Button storyline that just took a brief break for now, moving towards Doomsday Clock, which I'm really excited to be reviewing. You got a lot happening in the DCU right now, and now we're met with this mysterious side story. It's not a problem really, but it can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but it's both a good thing and a bad thing because you want to be caught up as much as you can and as much as possible in the comic book community. Anyway, so the review, Dark Days The Forge #1. So Dark Days The Forge #1 serves as a prelude for this highly anticipating upcoming comic series called Dark Nights Metal. It's written by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, featuring art from various artists and one of my personal favorites, Jim Lee and John Romita Jr. So Dark Days The Forge #1 reads kind of like a mysterious, terrifying story in a way. Of course, like most prologues, the story tends to build up pretty slowly, but you can't help but notice that there's this impending doom drawing nearer as you progress through the story. Like I just said, the story does build up pretty slowly. And where it falters the most is that many questions are left unanswered. Most of the times the story isn't clear until at least you get into the last act of the comic, but that's to be expected with most prologues anyway. I mean, did you all read the Button storyline? Great storyline. Only downside is that the story did drag on longer than it had to. This one is handled very differently. We get a narrative by Carter Hall, aka the Hawkman, throughout the comic, reminiscing of the early days. Not entirely sure what the correlation is between Hawkman and Batman, but I hope it's expanded upon eventually in this series. And there goes the goddamn planes flying over. Jesus. You know, just reading the story alone made me feel like I was reading a prologue for a potential Justice League story, or Justice League event. I mean, you look at the cover of this issue, and you think that Justice League Dark Days would probably sound better. But no, it's mostly a Batman story with guest appearances from the likes of Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific. This may be a nitpick and all, but I can tell that this comic was drawn by more than one artist, aside from the fact that it has more than one artist's name on the front cover, which is obvious. But going through the issue, you can actually see the inconsistencies of the way the characters were drawn, and that bothered me quite a bit actually. There are quite a few panels where I can tell Jim Lee drew the characters, and then you move to the next panels with the same characters looking completely different. Why? It's very easy to distinguish art from other art if you're familiar with that person's art. If you're gonna hire an artist to draw your characters in a comic, hire just one so the art looks very consistent. For your health. I mean, I know deadlines gotta be met, but come on. The story is great for preparing you for the inevitable doom that is metal. A little slow in the beginning with inconsistent artwork, but overall, I had fun with it in some ways. I'm gonna give Dark Days The Forge #1 3.5 stars out of 5. Well, that was my review, everyone. What did you think about the issue? Have you read it? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next comic panel.